Involved in fate, a tragic event, Leila was bitten by a poisonous snake. She took a deep breath, savoring the strange, sweet scent of the alien flora. The planet named Orcs was one of humanity's newest discoveries. Rich with unknown life forms, it promised medical breakthroughs that could change human medicine forever. Her boots pressed into the soft, moss-like surface, and small bioluminescent plants glowed under her feet. Tiny insects hovered like miniature stars, their wings catching the sunlight. Every step she took reminded her why she had dedicated her life to exploration. Humanity had always reached for the stars, but she, Leila, wanted to touch them and learn their secrets. "Leila, the drone is ready," a calm voice said over her communicator. It was Dr. Sanjay, her colleague and mission leader back at the colony. "Perfect. I'm moving to the northern ridge. Initial scans suggest a dense concentration of bioorganisms there," Leila replied, adjusting her wrist scanner. The device flickered to life, projecting a holographic map of Oralia's terrain. The ridge looked dangerous from the map, jagged rocks, steep slopes, and thick vegetation. But Leila's curiosity outweighed caution. The hover drone took off beside her, hovering silently. Its sensors were scanning every inch of the terrain, ready to identify anything unusual. Leila paused at a stream that shimmered with an unusual blue glow. She knelt and examined the water. Tiny microorganisms floated in the current, dancing with bioluminescence. She carefully collected a sample, her hands steady despite the excitement. Humanity had never seen life like this before. As she moved deeper into the ridge, the trees grew taller and the shadows darker. Strange vines wrapped around enormous trunks, and flowers with translucent petals reflected light like tiny mirrors. Leila felt like she had stepped into a dream. She paused, recording observations in her notebook. Every moment was precious. Every discovery could lead to new medicines, new treatments, even cures for diseases that plagued humans for centuries. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the undergrowth. Leila froze, her instincts alert. She had read about Oralia's fauna, but nothing could prepare her for the reality. The plants moved strangely, almost as if they were aware of her presence. The rustling grew louder. Then, with lightning speed, a snake-like creature shot from the foliage. It was unlike any earth snake. Its scales glimmered with rainbow hues, reflecting the sunlight in sharp flashes. Its eyes were sharp, intelligent, and fixed on her. Before she could react, it lunged. Pain exploded in her right hand as its fangs sank into her skin. She gasped, stumbling backward. The venom burned like fire, spreading fast. She dropped her sample container, shattering it against the rocks. Her wrist scanner flickered as she pressed the emergency signal button. "Leila, what happened?" Dr. Sanjay's voice came urgently over the communicator. "I snake venom hand," she gasped, trying to stay upright. The world blurred around her. Her body felt heavy, her muscles weak. Every instinct screamed to run, but the pain anchored her to the spot. "Stay calm, I'm activating the antidote protocol," Dr. Sanjay said. "You need to remain still, the team is mobilizing, we'll get you out of there." Leila's eyes darted around. The ridge was silent again, as if the snake had vanished. But she knew better. She felt the venom spreading through her bloodstream, altering her body. It was faster than anything she had encountered. Her vision blurred and colors melted into each other. She stumbled toward a rock to steady herself. Her mind raced. She had trained for emergencies, but nothing prepared her for the alien venom. She thought of the colony, the scientists, the people depending on her work. She refused to give in. Her hands trembled as she activated the small medkit on her belt. It contained a temporary pain suppressant, enough to stabilize her until help arrived. The medkit hissed as a small injector slid into her veins. Slowly, the burning sensation eased, but her strength did not return. She sank to the ground, leaning against a moss-covered tree. Her communicator crackled. "Leila, we're sending a drone to locate you. Stay where you are," Dr. Sanjay instructed. "It will guide you if you can move." Leila nodded, though he could not see her. She tried to rise, but her legs wobbled. She crawled a few feet, following the drone's faint, blinking lights. Every movement was agony, but she refused to stop. Humanity had faced worse odds before, and they had survived. She was not going to be the first to fail. As she crawled, her mind drifted to the purpose of her mission. Oralia was more than just a research site. It was a chance to prove that humans could adapt, survive, and thrive even in unknown worlds. Every discovery here had the potential to save millions back home. Her sacrifice, if she had to make one, would not be in vain. The drone hovered closer, scanning the terrain for safe paths. Leila followed, her fingers brushing over the soft alien moss. She reached a small clearing and collapsed, exhaustion overtaking her. Her breathing was shallow, her vision narrowed, and shadows seemed to dance at the edges of her sight. Suddenly, movement caught her eye. The snake was back, coiled on a nearby rock, watching her. Its eyes gleamed with intelligence. Leila froze, her heart pounding. She remembered her training. Sudden movements could provoke it. Slowly, she reached for a small sonic device in her belt. It emitted high-frequency pulses designed to deter aggressive creatures. She activated it. The snake hissed and recoiled, sliding into the shadows. Leila let out a shaky breath, relief washing over her. She could not linger here much longer, her strength was fading. She activated her communicator again, her voice barely a whisper. "I need help." "Stay calm, Leila. The extraction team is near, Doctor." Sanjay said, his voice steady and reassuring. "You're doing great. Keep your focus. Help is almost there." The drone hovered above her, scanning the ground for the safest route. Leila followed its guidance, each step slower than the last. Her mind wandered to the strange creatures she had observed. The snakes, the glowing plants, the microscopic organisms in the stream. She had always believed humans were capable of understanding the universe, and now, in this moment of weakness, she saw how fragile yet resilient they could be. Minutes felt like hours. Every breath was a struggle. She felt her consciousness slipping, her thoughts fragmenting. But then, through the misty haze of pain and fear, she saw a light in the distance, a faint shimmer that signaled the approach of her team. Relief surged through her. The extraction team appeared, moving with careful precision. They lifted her gently onto a hover stretcher. She closed her eyes, exhausted but alive. The venom had done its worst, but she had survived long enough for human ingenuity and determination to reach her. As the shuttle lifted off, Orlia's twin suns reflected off the mossy ground. Leila watched the planet recede, feeling a strange mixture of awe and relief. This world was dangerous, unpredictable, and beautiful. It had tested her, but humanity's spirit had held strong. In the medbay, the team worked quickly. Machines hummed, scanning her vitals, analyzing the alien venom, and preparing to synthesize an antidote. Leila drifted in and out of consciousness, her mind replaying the events of the day. She saw the ridge, the snake, the glowing plants, and the courage of the humans who had come to save her. Even in pain, she smiled faintly. Humanity had faced countless challenges, from the depths of space to the heart of alien worlds. And now, even when fate seemed cruel, they had not faltered. Leila had been bitten, yes, but she had survived, and survival, she knew, was only the beginning. As she drifted into a deep sleep, her thoughts were clear. Aurelia had more secrets to reveal, and humanity would uncover them. They would adapt, they would thrive, and they would face every challenge, no matter how alien, with courage, intelligence, and unity. The tragic event of the snake bite had not broken her. It had strengthened her resolve. Humanity's story was far from over, and Leila would continue to play her part in its bold, shining chapter. Leila drifted in a haze between consciousness and darkness. The medbay lights above her blinked faintly, and the low hum of machines filled the room. Her body felt heavy, her muscles refusing to respond. The venom still coursed through her veins, though the temporary stabilizer had slowed its effects. Her mind, however, was alive. It replayed the events of the ridge, the snake's sudden strike, the blinding pain, the glimmering plants, the glowing microorganisms in the stream. She clung to these memories, using them as anchors. Humans were capable of facing fear and danger, she reminded herself. They adapted, they survived, they thrived. At the colony, the team worked frantically. Dr. Sanjay paced, analyzing the venom's chemical and biological structure. Standard human antivenoms had no effect. The compound was alien, mutating with every second. "We need a new approach," Dr. Sanjay said, voice steady but tense. "The venom interacts with human biology in ways we haven't seen. It's adapting as it spreads." Dr. Myra Chen, the colony's lead xenobiologist, examined the scans. "It's fascinating," she said. "The venom contains nanostructures, almost like it's learning the host's weaknesses. A regular antidote won't work. We need something from the same ecosystem, something that evolved alongside the snake." A murmur ran through the team. They had never attempted anything like this before. Humanity had faced space hazards, extreme weather, even alien fauna, but a venom that could adapt in real time was unprecedented. "Then we use what we have," Dr. Sanjay said firmly. Human intelligence, ingenuity, and teamwork. We'll figure this out. Meanwhile, Leila's mind wandered. Though her body remained weak, her brain function was sharper than ever. She could feel the venom changing her, altering her physiology in subtle ways. Panic tried to creep in, but she pushed it away. Fear was temporary. Humanity's will was permanent. She remembered the drone she had relied on during the attack. Technology had guided her when her body failed. It was a reminder that humans were not alone. They built tools, machines, and systems to extend their abilities. Even in the most alien environments, they could survive if they worked together. Hours passed. The team cross-referenced the snake's genetic profile with other organisms on Orcs. Most of the planet's creatures had natural defenses against the snake's venom. They realized that somewhere in Orcs, a plant or animal had evolved the perfect countermeasure. Finding it was the next step. Dr. Chen pointed at a holographic projection. Look here, there's a concentration of bioluminescent flora near the ridge. It's possible that one of these contains the enzymes we need to neutralize the venom. Then we go there, Dr. Sanjay said decisively. We'll send a team immediately. The clock is ticking. Back in the medbay, Leila's eyelids flickered open. Her vision was dim, but she could make out the figures of her team moving efficiently around her. Despite the pain, she attempted to sit up. A nurse gently pushed her back, shaking her head. You need rest, the nurse said kindly. Your body is weak. You can't go out there now. Leila's jaw tightened. She knew she could not act physically, but her mind could guide. She spoke slowly, each word deliberate. I can help drone route herb northern ridge. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. She remembers the terrain. If she can guide us remotely, we could retrieve the countermeasure safely. A team was quickly assembled. The extraction drone, capable of carrying light objects and analyzing samples, was prepped. Leila, despite her weakness, connected to the drone's interface through the medbay console. Her fingers trembled over the controls, but her mind focused. She had to succeed, not just for herself, but for humanity. The drone lifted off the medbay table, its sensors scanning the landscape in real time. Leila guided it remotely, recalling the ridge's features, the jagged rocks, the glowing plants, the stream that reflected the suns. She felt a small surge of strength. Even incapacitated, humans had the ability to strategize, adapt, and act. The drone moved steadily toward the northern ridge. The colony's team monitored its progress on a holographic map, navigating the hazards remotely. Orlia's wildlife reacted immediately. The rustling plants, tiny insect swarms, and distant roars reminded them that the planet was alive and aware. Leila focused, guiding the drone past a cluster of luminescent ferns and over a stream shimmering with blue microorganisms. The antidote plant, or herb, had to be near the snake's habitat, which she remembered from her exploration earlier that day. Every second mattered. Suddenly, a shadow passed over the drone. A larger creature, resembling a mix of reptile and insect, lunged at it. The drone's automatic defense system activated, emitting a high-frequency pulse that drove the creature away. Leila's hands shook with tension. Careful, steady, slow, she muttered. The herb finally came into view. A small cluster of glowing leaves sprouted among the rocks. Its bioluminescence was faint but distinctive. Leila guided the drone closer, and the sensors confirmed the chemical composition matched the properties needed to counter the venom. Relief surged through her, but danger was not over. A sudden shift in the wind triggered a landslide above the ridge. Rocks tumbled, narrowly missing the drone. Leila's heart raced. She adjusted the controls, maneuvering it with precision. Humanity had always faced impossible odds, she reminded herself. Adaptation and courage were what set them apart. Finally, the drone reached the herb. Its mechanical arms carefully plucked a sample and secured it in a containment unit. Leila let out a shaky breath. One obstacle was overcome, but the journey back was just as treacherous. The return trip required navigating past the same hazards, the larger predator, the stream, the uneven terrain. Leila guided the drone with patience, using every bit of knowledge from her exploration earlier. The team at the colony watched with awe as the drone returned safely, herb in tow. Back in the medbay, Dr. Chen quickly analyzed the sample. This is it. We can synthesize the antidote now. The team worked swiftly. Enzymes from the herb were combined with synthesized compounds to create a serum. It was a delicate process. Any mistake could render the antidote useless. Hours passed, and Leila remained semi-conscious, guiding where she could. Her mind was sharp despite her weakened body. Finally, the antidote was ready. A nurse carefully injected it into Leila's IV. Almost immediately, her vitals stabilized further. Color returned to her cheeks and her pulse became steady. The venom's effect slowed and her body began to heal. She closed her eyes, exhausted but hopeful. Dr. Sanjay approached her bedside. "You did it, Leila, not just surviving but helping us find the solution. Humanity's ingenuity saved you." Leila smiled faintly. Her thoughts were clear. The challenge was not just the venom but the unknown. Every alien world was filled with surprises, yet humans could overcome them. They could adapt, collaborate, and thrive, even against odds that seemed impossible. Hours later, Leila's strength returned enough for her to sit up fully. She looked at the team with gratitude and quiet pride. They had worked together seamlessly, using human intelligence, creativity, and determination to overcome an alien threat. It was a reminder that humanity was capable of great things, not just surviving, but excelling in environments no one had explored before. As she rested, she thought of Orlia, the glowing plants, the strange creatures, the venomous snake. The planet was alive and dangerous, but it was also full of opportunities. Every challenge was a lesson, every danger a chance to prove that humanity could face the unknown and emerge stronger. Leila knew her recovery was only the beginning. The snake's venom had properties that could advance human medicine in ways they had never imagined. The herb was just one piece of the puzzle. There were countless mysteries waiting on Orlia, and humanity would uncover them all, not through brute strength, but through courage, intelligence, and unity. Even in her weakened state, Leila felt a surge of determination. Humans had always reached for the stars, but now, more than ever, they were learning that exploration demanded more than bravery. It demanded wisdom, adaptation, and trust in one another. She had been tested, and she had survived, not just because of technology, but because of human spirit. As night fell over the colony, the twin suns of Orlia disappeared behind the horizon. The planet glowed faintly in bioluminescent light, a reminder of its secrets and dangers. Humanity had made a small victory today, but the adventure was far from over. Leila lay back, exhausted but resolute. Tomorrow they would continue to explore, learn, and thrive. And somewhere deep in the ridge, the venomous snake watched. Its eyes gleamed with quiet intelligence. But Leila and her team had proven something important. No matter how alien, how dangerous, or how unpredictable, humanity could adapt. Humanity could overcome, and humanity would not be defeated. The tragic event of the snake bite had become a turning point, not the end, but the beginning of a greater journey. Humanity had faced fate and stared it in the eye, and they had triumphed together. The next morning, the colony stirred to life. Orlia's twin suns bathed the settlement in a golden glow, making the bioluminescent plants outside seem almost magical. Leila sat up in the medbay, her body still weak but her mind sharp. She watched as the team prepared for the next phase of research, understanding the snake's venom at a deeper level. The morning brief began with Dr. Sanjay at the head of the table, holographic screens displaying the ridge, the venom, and the plant compounds they had retrieved. "The antidote worked," he began. "Leila is stable, but the snake's venom is not just a threat. It contains biological information that could revolutionize human medicine. We need to understand it fully." Leila leaned forward. Her fingers traced the holographic lines representing the snake's venom structure. Even in her weakened state, her analytical mind worked. "The venom adapts," she said. "It changes as it interacts with human biology. If we can study that adaptive mechanism, we might be able to apply it to our own technology, even to medicine in general." Dr. Chen nodded, impressed. "Exactly, but it's delicate. We have one chance to extract the genetic material without destroying its properties. We need precision, not brute force." The team divided tasks. Engineers prepared nanosuits to study the venom, scientists set up secure analysis chambers, and Leila was asked to remotely guide part of the operation. Despite the exhaustion in her muscles, her mind remained a beacon of focus. Humans had always faced challenges with determination and creativity, and now her guidance would be crucial. Meanwhile, back at the ridge, the drone had been repurposed for close-range surveillance. Leila controlled it, moving slowly among the jagged rocks. The bioluminescent plants shimmered in the soft light, and strange insect-like creatures watched her drone curiously. Every movement was cautious. One misstep could damage the venom sample or provoke the snake. Suddenly, movement caught her attention. The snake was nearby, coiled around a rock, its rainbow scales glinting in the sunlight. It had been waiting. Leila's heart pounded, not with fear, but with a mixture of respect and determination. She remembered the first day, the pain, the fear, the struggle to survive. Now she was more than just a victim. She was a guide, a strategist, a human mind extending beyond her body. She adjusted the drone's path, keeping a safe distance. "Slow, careful, lateral," she muttered under her breath. The drone responded smoothly, weaving through the uneven terrain. The snake shifted, sensing the drone, but did not strike. It seemed cautious, almost calculating. Leila watched intently. Humanity had faced predators before, both on Earth and in space. The difference was strategy. Humans didn't rely on instinct alone. They used intelligence, observation, and planning. Today, intelligence was their weapon. Hours passed as the drone navigated the ridge. The team back at the colony monitored every movement, adjusting remotely under Leila's direction. Each minor hazard, a loose rock, a sudden gust of wind, a predatory insect, was met with precise human ingenuity. Finally, the drone reached a hidden crevice where the snake nested. The venom sacs were visible, glimmering like tiny crystalline orbs. Leila guided the drone closer, using fine manipulator arms to extract a sample. Her hands shook, not from fear, but from the sheer concentration required. One wrong move and the sample could be destroyed, or worse, the snake could become aggressive. As the manipulator closed around the venom sac, the snake moved. It raised its head, watching, its eyes reflecting an unusual intelligence. Leila held her breath. Then with a quick, precise motion, the drone retracted, venom sample secured. She exhaled slowly. Humanity had once again relied on brain power, teamwork, and courage to overcome danger. Back at the colony, Dr. Chen began analyzing the venom. Microscopic imaging revealed that the venom's nanostructures were indeed adaptive. They responded to the host's biological markers. The potential applications were staggering. Medicines that could target diseases with pinpoint accuracy, materials that could repair themselves, and even biotechnology that could adjust to different environments. Leila watched the data unfold. A thought struck her. If humans could understand this adaptive mechanism, they could not only survive in alien worlds, they could thrive. They could extend human capability beyond natural limits. The venom was not just a threat, it was a key. Suddenly, alarms blared. The drone back at the ridge had detected movement. Another predator, larger and more aggressive than the snake, approached the site. It resembled a hybrid of reptile and insect, its scales armored and its legs quick. Leila guided the drone to create a diversion, using small sonic pulses to distract the creature. It hissed and backed off, but only temporarily. "This isn't just a study," Leila said. Her voice was calm, steady despite the tension. "It's a test of human adaptability. We can face the unknown, adjust, and find solutions. The key is observation and action." Her words inspired the team. They worked with renewed focus, knowing that humans had always turned danger into opportunity. From the first voyages into space to surviving the harshest alien planets, humanity had relied on intellect, creativity, and unity. Today was no different. The venom analysis continued. Leila observed as the team simulated interactions between the venom and human cellular structures. She suggested adjustments, pointing out patterns and anomalies. Even in her weakened state, she was invaluable. Humans were not just physical beings. They were problem solvers, thinkers, innovators. Hours turned into a full day. The colony operated like a well-oiled machine, guided by human intelligence and the sharp mind of a woman who had faced death and returned stronger. Finally, preliminary results were ready. Dr. Chen turned to Leila with a smile. "The venom's adaptive properties can be mapped. We can use this to create controlled biotherapies, even improve human resilience in extreme conditions." Leila felt a surge of pride, not just in herself, but in humanity. They had faced the unknown, adapted, and gained knowledge that would shape the future. The snake's venom, once a deadly threat, had become a lesson in human capability. But even as they celebrated the breakthrough, Leila's mind remained alert. Orcs was unpredictable. The snake had shown intelligence and strategy. Other creatures on the planet were likely equally capable. The team had succeeded today, but survival in this world required constant vigilance. The drone returned to the colony safely, carrying additional samples for further study. Leila guided it in, her strength growing with each success. Even her body, weakened by the venom, responded to her determination. Humans could endure pain, face fear, and act with intelligence when the situation demanded it. Dr. Sanjay placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You've done more than survive, Leila. You've shown us that humanity's greatest strength is its mind. Courage, yes, but above all, intelligence and unity." Leila smiled faintly. She thought of the ridge, the glowing plants, the snakes, and the strange predators. This planet, for all its beauty, was dangerous. But humans could navigate it, learn from it, and even turn its threats into tools. That was what made them extraordinary. As night fell over the colony, Orlia's twin moons reflected softly on the surface. The team gathered in the research hall, reviewing the day's findings. Leila, now more recovered, spoke with quiet authority. "The venom taught us more than science. It taught us strategy, observation, and patience. Humanity can survive this world, not just by strength, but by thinking, adapting, and working together." Her words were a reminder. Across human history, survival had never been about raw power alone. It had been about intelligence, courage, and unity. Today, on Oralia, those qualities had turned a deadly incident into an opportunity. But Leila knew the journey was far from over. The snake's venom held deeper secrets, and the planet had many more dangers waiting. Every discovery opened new questions. Humanity's story on Oralia had only begun, and every challenge would test their spirit, their minds, and their resolve. For now, though, Leila allowed herself a moment of rest. She closed her eyes, feeling the steady hum of the colony, the glow of Oralia outside, and the knowledge that humans had once again turned adversity into triumph. The snake's venom was not the end, it was a beginning. And humanity, with its ingenuity, courage, and unity, would rise to every challenge, adapt to every danger, and thrive in ways no one could imagine. The morning sun of Oralia broke over the horizon, casting long shadows across the colony. Leila sat in the medbay, her body still recovering from the venom's effects, but her mind was alert, sharp, and ready. Today, the team would take their research further. The snake's venom had secrets waiting to be unlocked, and humanity was determined to uncover them. "Doctor." Sanjay entered the room, tablet in hand, a faint smile on his face. "Leila, you're ready for today's operation. The venom sample analysis shows properties we can experiment with safely, but we need you with us. Your insight is crucial." Leila nodded. Though her muscles still felt weak, the fire inside her burned bright. Humanity thrived on challenge, she reminded herself. Danger was never a reason to retreat. It was an opportunity to prove resilience, intelligence, and courage. The team gathered in the research hall, discussing the plan. The goal was simple in words but difficult in execution. Extract the adaptive properties from the venom and create a prototype serum that could enhance human resilience. It was a risky endeavor. Any mistake could render the sample useless or endanger the team. But the humans present had faced danger before. They were problem solvers, thinkers, and collaborators. They thrived on challenges that required intelligence and creativity. Leila observed the plan, noting the risks and suggesting adjustments. "The venom's nanostructures react to stress," she said. "We need to control the environment perfectly. Temperature, pressure, even vibrations. Small changes could trigger unwanted reactions. We must stabilize everything before extraction." Dr. Chen nodded, impressed. "Agreed. Leila's right. We'll create a containment chamber with micro-stabilizers. Nothing is left to chance." The team set to work. Engineers arranged the nanochambers with precision, scientists calibrated the sensors, and Leila guided every step. Her body remained weak, but her mind was a force of human ingenuity. Every adjustment, every command, showcased what humans could achieve when knowledge, observation, and collaboration combined. Outside the research hall, the colony's drone network monitored Oralia. The planet was alive with movement. Creatures scuttled through the undergrowth, vines shifted as though sensing vibrations, and distant roars echoed through the ridges. Leila watched the live feed and noticed patterns in the wildlife. Some creatures avoided certain plants, while others seemed drawn to specific areas. Every detail was valuable. Humans observed, adapted, and acted. Hours passed. Finally, the containment chamber was ready. Leila and the team carefully introduced the venom sample. It shimmered in its container, alive with microscopic motion. The adaptive nanostructures responded to stimuli, adjusting their shapes and patterns. It was beautiful and dangerous all at once, a reminder that life, even alien life, was clever, resilient, and unpredictable. Leila guided the first extraction process remotely. The team monitored every microsecond. The venom reacted subtly, its structures shifting and twisting in response to the containment field. Leila adjusted the stabilizers, preventing destabilization. Humanity had faced countless challenges before, she thought, and had always adapted. Today was no different. Suddenly, an alarm blared. A containment breach? The team froze, hearts racing. But it was not the venom. One of the nanomonitors detected movement outside the lab. Orlia's wildlife had approached the colony, drawn by curiosity or perhaps sensing the human activity. Dr. Sanjay took command. Lock all external doors. Maintain a secure perimeter. Humans adapt, so we must adapt too. Leila's fingers flew over the console. Redirect energy to stabilizers. Maintain focus on venom. Keep outside threats at bay with non-lethal pulses. We observe, not fight. Intelligence over aggression. The team worked with precision. Sonic pulses guided the wildlife away without harm. Humans had always relied on strategy, ingenuity, and observation to survive, and Aurelia would be no different. Every decision mattered. Every second counted. With the threat outside controlled, focus returned to the venom. The extraction proceeded. Slowly, the team isolated the adaptive components, mapping their responses to stress, temperature, and host biology. Leila's instructions were precise, her mind reading patterns and predicting reactions. Her body may have been weakened by the venom, but her intellect was stronger than ever. Then, a sudden anomaly occurred. The venom reacted unexpectedly, forming a complex network of nanostructures that moved beyond the containment field. The team gasped. Leila studied the data. It's learning, she said calmly. The nanostructures are responding to our monitoring. They're testing the boundaries. This is not a failure. This is information. We observe and adapt. Dr. Chen nodded. Leila's right. We adjust, learn, and continue. Humanity thrives by turning challenges into opportunities. Leila guided the adjustments. Slowly, the network stabilized within the containment chamber. The adaptive properties were successfully mapped. A prototype serum was synthesized, combining the venom's unique traits with human-safe compounds. The goal: enhance resilience in extreme environments. The team carefully administered a controlled dose to a lab sample, an engineered tissue model. The results were immediate. The tissue adapted to stress, repairing minor damage and maintaining function under simulated extreme conditions. Humanity had turned danger into innovation. The venom, once a threat, had become a tool. Leila allowed herself a small smile. Aurelia had tested them, challenged them, and they had prevailed. But the adventure was far from over. The snake's intelligence suggested more secrets remained on the planet. Humans had learned to adapt once. They would do so again. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the colony. Leila stepped outside, supported by a nurse. She walked slowly, feeling the alien wind against her skin. Aurelia was alive, unpredictable, and full of surprises. But humans had shown they could face danger not through brute force, but through observation, intelligence, and collaboration. A sound echoed from the ridge, a hiss, familiar and deliberate. The snake had returned, observing from a distance. Its rainbow scales reflected the dying sunlight. Leila met its gaze, calm and unafraid. Humans had faced death and emerged stronger. Intelligence, adaptability, and courage had turned near tragedy into triumph. Dr. Sanjay joined her outside. You've done more than recover, Leila. You've guided us to a breakthrough. Humanity's strength is not just physical. It's our mind, our teamwork, our spirit. Leila nodded, looking toward the horizon. Aurelia's mysteries were far from fully explored, but one truth was clear. Humans could survive, adapt, and excel. They could face challenges no other species could and find solutions that combined courage with intellect. That night, in the medbay, Leila reflected on the past days. The snake bite had been a tragedy, but it had revealed something greater. Humanity's resilience was unmatched. Pain could slow them, danger could threaten them. But with intelligence, observation, and unity, they could turn even a deadly venom into a tool for growth and discovery. As she drifted to sleep, Leila thought of the ridge, the glowing plants, the snake, and the team. Orli had tested them, but humans had risen to the challenge. And when the next trial came, as it inevitably would, they would meet it with courage, ingenuity, and an unshakable will to thrive. For humanity, the story was far from over. Every challenge was an opportunity. Every danger a lesson, and every victory, small or great, was a reminder that humans in the vast expanse of space could face fate itself and emerge stronger, smarter, and unbroken. The colony woke to a crisp, quiet morning. Orlia's twin suns rose slowly, bathing the settlement in warm, golden light. The alien world, alive with movement, seemed calm for now. But Leila knew the planet's peace was fragile. Danger lurked in every corner, yet humans had proven they could rise to meet it. Today, they would take the next step, applying the venom's secrets to advance human capability and secure a stronger foothold on Orlia. Leila stood in the medbay, fully recovered now. Her strength had returned, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose. She looked around at the team, scientists, engineers, and medics, busy at their stations, preparing the final phase of their experiment. The venom's adaptive properties had been successfully mapped. The prototype serum had shown promise in tissue models. Now it was time to test its real potential. Dr. Sanjay entered, carrying a tablet filled with data. Leila, the preliminary results are remarkable. The adaptive serum not only neutralizes the venom, but also enhances resilience in extreme conditions. This is a breakthrough. We could apply this technology in future missions, space travel, even medicine back on Earth. Leila nodded, her mind already calculating next steps. We need to proceed carefully. The serum interacts with human biology dynamically. Controlled testing is crucial. But if successful, humanity will have a new tool for survival and an advantage in exploration. The team prepared a controlled simulation chamber. Leila watched as the serum was applied to bioengineered tissue models under stress. Extreme temperature changes, pressure shifts, and chemical exposure. The results were astonishing. The tissue adapted instantly, repairing damage and maintaining function. Even under simulated harsh conditions, the samples thrived. "It's incredible," Dr. Chen said, eyes wide with amazement. "The tissue doesn't just survive, it adapts. This could change everything." Leila's gaze shifted to the horizon, where Orlia's twin moons reflected softly over the ridges. She remembered the venomous snake that had started it all, the ridge where she had fought for survival, and the long hours guiding the drone and team. The experience had been harrowing, but it had revealed humanity's greatest strength: intelligence, perseverance, and teamwork. The next step was field testing. A small, controlled team, including Leila, prepared to venture to the northern ridge once more. The goal was to observe the serum's effect in real-world conditions and understand how the venom's adaptive properties interacted with the living environment of Orlia. The journey was cautious. Orlia was unpredictable, with hidden dangers and clever predators. Yet humans had proven they could navigate the unknown. The hover vehicles carried them safely, and the drones provided real-time surveillance, guided by Leila's sharp observations. Every step was measured, every decision strategic. Humanity's ingenuity was on full display. As they reached the ridge, familiar terrain stretched before them. Glowing plants shimmered under the twin suns, and small creatures scuttled through the mossy undergrowth. The venomous snake was not far away, coiled atop a rock, watching curiously. Its eyes, reflecting intelligence and awareness, seemed almost to acknowledge the human's return. Leila held her ground, calm and unafraid. Humans did not rely on fear. They relied on observation, analysis, and strategy. She gestured to the team, indicating the path for collecting additional samples safely. They moved efficiently, guided by both technology and intellect. The team collected new venom samples to compare with the serum-enhanced tissue. Leila monitored every movement, adjusting drones, managing environmental data, and ensuring safety. The snake remained distant, cautious but undisturbed. The humans' careful approach, combining respect with intelligence, had earned them a fragile truce with Orlia's predators. Once the samples were secured, they returned to the colony for final analysis. The team worked tirelessly, mapping the interactions between the venom and the serum. Leila guided experiments, her mind sharp, predicting adaptive responses and ensuring that every observation was documented. As night fell over the colony, the results were clear. The serum worked. The adaptive properties of the venom could be harnessed safely to enhance human resilience. Humans could survive harsher environments, respond faster to threats, and maintain stability in extreme conditions. Humanity had turned a near-tragic event into an opportunity for growth, learning, and strength. Leila stepped outside for a moment, gazing at the glowing ridge in the distance. She felt a sense of triumph, not just personal but collective. Humanity had faced a deadly alien threat, endured uncertainty, and emerged stronger. The snake bite, once a symbol of danger and fragility, had become a symbol of human ingenuity and perseverance. Dr. Sanjay joined her, smiling warmly. "You led us through this, Leila. Your courage and intellect guided every step. Humanity's strength isn't just in its body, it's in its mind, its creativity, and its unity." Leila nodded. "And we will need all of that in the days ahead. Orlia has many secrets, and this planet will challenge us again. But humans are capable. We observe, we adapt, and we thrive." The night was quiet, but the team remained vigilant. They continued monitoring the ridge, documenting wildlife, and preparing for future exploration. Orlia was alive, unpredictable, and full of wonder. Humanity had learned to respect its dangers and harness its lessons. In the medbay, Leila reflected on the journey. The venom had been deadly. The ridge had tested her limits, but humanity had prevailed through intelligence, collaboration, and resilience. She had faced the brink of death and returned, not just to survive, but to lead. The breakthrough with the serum promised a future where humans could explore even the most hostile worlds with confidence. Every challenge, every danger had been an opportunity to demonstrate human excellence. Even in the face of fate, humans had chosen action, not surrender. As the colony settled into the night, Leila allowed herself a rare moment of quiet. She thought of the snake, the glowing ridge, and the team that had worked tirelessly to turn a near tragedy into triumph. Humanity had proven once again that it could face unknown dangers and rise above them, stronger and wiser than before. The twin moons of Orlia shone brightly, casting silver light over the settlement. Leila's gaze drifted to the horizon, where the snake coiled silently. It was a reminder that the universe was vast, full of wonders and dangers, but humans had the ability to adapt, survive, and even flourish in ways no other species could. Tomorrow would bring new discoveries, new challenges, and new opportunities. Humanity would continue to explore, to learn, and to thrive. And in every challenge, from the smallest organism to the deadliest predator, humans would find a way, not just to endure, but to excel. Leila smiled. The tragic event of the snake bite had transformed into a triumph. The venom's secrets, once a threat, had become a key to human advancement. The story of Orlia was just beginning, and humanity, with courage, intelligence, and unity, would write its chapters boldly. For humanity, every challenge was an opportunity, every danger a lesson. Every victory, a testament to resilience, intellect, and spirit. And as long as humans faced the unknown with courage and creativity, no force in the universe could stop them. Leila looked at her team, proud and inspired. Humanity had triumphed, not through strength alone, but through what made them extraordinary: their mind, their heart, and their unwavering determination to survive and thrive. The ridge, the snake, and the glowing flora faded into the night. But the lesson remained. Humans could overcome fate itself. They could turn tragedy into opportunity, danger into discovery, and fear into triumph. And Orlia, with all its dangers and wonders, would bear witness to the brilliance of humanity.